Hi guys, JB here. I'm coming on really to review the game and put a few Rotherham fans in their places here because they feel that they've been hard done by last night on certain things. I've got to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think they've got a lot to gripe about in a lot of respects because I'll explain later. But I will. What I will say about Rotherham, they gave us a tough old game last night, and came very close to getting snatching a point, which on the stats they probably didn't deserve. But I'm speaking as a biased Burnley fan here. But anyway, don't. Anyway, I'm just going to start. I'm just going to just obviously get into it. Obviously, we didn't. Burnley didn't start well enough. We were disappointed at the start. We were lax at the back, and to be fair, it's a great goal from Ben Wiles. Good going from Norton Coffey. Terrific play. Terrific play. That was the only good thing Norton Coffey did all night for them. But he played in a lovely ball. Wiles has got the freedom of our penalty box and nods past Muric, and we were ranked there on that defensive side. So yeah, a bit disappointed about that goal. Very preventable, but our defenders were not there, and fair play. Then we get back level. J-Rod gets in there. Balls is nodded back across the goal. And basically, J-Rod's there about a yard out. Onside, by the way, to tap in and make it 1-1. So, and that's how it was at half time. Then the second half, very, very disappointing the way that we allowed them back in the lead because Manuel Benson, not sure what he was doing here. That was the bad part of his game last night. He played I don't know what he was trying to do with the back pass. It was badly hit, and it allowed Ogbenny to go through. And to be fair to the lad, he tucked it in well off the post, and it did feel a bit of a snatch and grab, but we were self-inflicting our own defeat and our own death for it. And then this is where I start to take issue with Rotherham's tactics a bit. They started the time waste, especially Norton Coffey. He did things like feign injuries. They tried to dive. They tried to cheat. They tried to do this. They tried to get our players booked. And they did everything beyond the line to time waste. Now, I'm nothing against players from opposition players trying to time waste if they're in front. Burnley have done it before, but we've always done it within the book. But there's time wasting and there's overdoing it. I mean, when Norton Coffey was being substituted, he took about 15 hours to get off the field when he should have really gone off the side. You are allowed to go when you're substituted. You are to go off the side of the pitch, and that probably what cost them really, in a lot of respects. Because if Norton Coffey had gone off the side beyond the byline, Rotherham would have got something from that game. I've no question. I don't think there's any question about it. Now the two yellows that Colin Bramwell got, I think they were both right. Now the first one, I take massive issue with certain Rotherham fans here. They're trying to convince the world that Vincent Kompany was influencing the decision. Not one bit. I've seen the incident. It's a clear yellow card. No arguments. No ifs. No buts. No maybes. Okay. Second one could have damaged Connor Roberts. He endangered the player. And it was a naughty tackle. I mean, in a lot of respects, that could have been a straight red card. So again, I think the two yellows were justified in a lot of respects. So I think that was the right decision. I'm not sure Josh Brownhill getting booked was a correct decision. And then Barnes slashed in what appeared to be a terrific equalising goal. Looked a perfectly legitimate equalising goal. Looked level from the replay. I saw it. The line gave it offside. You just got to abide by that decision. You get them. Some you get, some you don't. But we didn't. And to be fair, it could have been 15 minutes of stoppage time at last night because the amount of time wasting Rotherham took was just stupid, really. Anyway, we get 10 minutes. It should have been a lot more than what it was. But I wouldn't have been too surprised. It'd been 20 minutes of stoppage time because I've never known a team time waste as much as Rotherham. I mean, I'm sorry, but they used every dirty trick in the book. They tried feigning injuries. Norton Cuffy was the worst defender of the lot, and I hope he never does that again. That's just bringing the game into disrepute, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't care if I upset certain people here that like Rotherham. I don't care, right? I'm talking as a Burnley fan. We come to watch a football match. We ain't come to watch a time. We haven't come to watch boring opposition players feigning injuries, right? I watched it on the computer last night. We paid a tenner, and I felt we were getting value for money the way Rotherham were taking their time. It's an entertainment business. I understand Rotherham's predicament. They're not as good as us in certain aspects of their team, but when they play good football, they're one of the best sides in the Championship, and that's doing them, and that's being respectful to them. But when it comes to time waste like that, and I'm afraid the manager's got to take a lot of the blame for it, then they get what they deserve. I mean, O'Benny should have been sent off for elbowing one of our lads, but he got away with it, and fair enough. But so we get into 10 minutes of stoppage time, and Emmanuel Benson, what a player he is. Okay, I criticised him on the Rotherham second goal, but what he made and made up for it. Terrific curling effort on the edge of the area. He's our super sub. He's our only gunner Solskjaer, if you like. You know, he's pulling rabbits out of the hat. And I felt at that stage, well, I didn't think justice was done because I still felt there was a winning goal there, and I felt if we got that winning goal, then justice would be properly served. Then the decisive moment, we get a throw-in. I'll be honest, it's a 50-50 call. A lot of Rotherham fans, again, having a pop at the line. Or it's all right to go on Twitter and slow the video down and say, well, that's clearly a Rotherham throw. But when you look at it and you're running the line and you've got to look at it in real time, that's a very tough call for the linesman. I'm sorry, but it is a tough call. What Rotherham should have done was not moan about the decision, marked up, got on with the game, snuffed Burnley out, they got a point out of it. Okay, it wouldn't have been justified on the balance of play, but they'd have got something from it. And you know, that's how you game manage. What they did was moan and groan. Connor Roberts took the throw in, ball was laid back across, and Dervis O'Glue scored the winning goal after the goalkeeper had fumbled. I think it Barnes' effort. I can't remember, but anyway, he's in there to score. And to be perfectly honest, Rotherham got what they deserved. Nout. Again, I'm not trying to have a go at them, but when you go out to try and time waste blatantly by feigning injuries and taking their time coming off the field on substitutions and things like that, it does come back to bite you. However frustrated that any Rotherham fan might feel this morning, or however sore they feel, you know, it would have been a disgrace if they'd have taken something from that game, because they didn't come there to listen. I've nothing wrong with them defending or doing the dirty side of the game. I've not had an issue if they'd have gone on 1-2-1, if they'd have just played the game fairly and not feigned injuries and tried to waste as many time. If they wasted about 2 or 3 minutes, I would have said fair enough. All teams do it. But when you're blatantly taking 40, 50 seconds on each set play, or you're taking 2 minutes on feigning injuries and things like that, getting the physios on, then that, as far as I'm aware, that crosses the line. A fair means of play. It's unacceptable, and and Rotherham fans can say what they like, but justice was done as far as I was concerned. We're 5 points clear of Blackburn Rovers. The only downside is that Brownell, harshly booked, misses the Sheffield United game. Again, that was down to Rotherham, trying to calm the referee again. But we go again. It's a tough game at Bramall Lane. We come away with a point. I would not grumble. Then the big one on the 13th against Blackburn Rovers, which is going to be something magnificent. But Rotherham, you would, if you'd have played decent football, you'd played a bit of decent football at times last night, If you hadn't reverted to those horrible time-wasting tactics, I don't think I would have had any complaints. The fact that you did, it needs being out in the open, because you shouldn't need to resort to things like that, because your team are a good side, and if you play the football like you did, that you have done this season, and you play it very well, don't get me wrong, then you'll stay out no problem. So don't feel bitter about it. Just blame yourselves, because it's a lesson learned. We all try and time waste, and sometimes teams go over that dividing line. Rotherham did last night. I don't think there's any question about it. But that doesn't make you a bad team in a lot of respects. I just think you overdid it and overrated it, and in the end it cost you. So I'm sorry to say this, Rotherham fans, but justice was done. End of story. Right, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Don't forget to leave a like, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.